let's get started for tonight's lesson. First of all, we're going to be looking at converting mixed numbers and improper fractions. They can be converted from one to the other and the other to the first. I'll show you what that means in a minute. First of all, vocabulary terms. What is a mixed number? A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. Whole number and a fraction, for example. What is an improper fraction? We talked about that. This is a fraction in which the top number or the numerator is larger than the bottom number. Typically in a fraction, the top number is smaller than the bottom number. And the bottom number is called the denominator. The numerator is the top number. The denominator is the bottom number. I put these here because I do want you to learn what they are, how they're pronounced and how they're used. Now, mixed numbers can be changed into improper fractions, and improper fractions can be changed into mixed numbers. They can both be changed interchangeably with each other. The reason for this is that they are equivalent forms. They both name the same amount. They are the same amount, value. Now, once you learn how to change them from one to the other, you can do it anytime you need to complete a task, to complete a problem, do something in math, a question, etc. It's not as hard as what everybody would like for you to think, okay? It's not that hard. First of all, let's look at how to change a mixed number into an improper fraction. For example, let's look at a mixed number. This is 1 1/3. What would that really look like in a real visual representation? This names this amount. Here's 1, here's 1/3. But as you look at this, you can also probably see 4 pieces or thirds. This is divided into thirds, this is divided into thirds, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 have been shaded in. We could also say this is 4 thirds, 4 out of 3. That's an improper fraction, okay? Or there is another way to do this. Instead of drawing, now some students love to draw fraction bars, pies, pizza, whatever, and show them as fractions, but there is a shortcut, and let me show you how to do that. You take your denominator and you multiply it by your whole number. Then you add in your top number, and that would be like this. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So 1 1/3 is equal to, or the same value as, 4 thirds. Which kind of makes sense. There's 4 thirds. 4 parts that are all thirds. So our process here is to multiply your denominator by your whole number and to add your top number. Now, the denominator for your improper fraction will be the same as the denominator that you had in the mixed number. Notice it's 3 here, it's still going to be 3. Why? It's still in thirds. It's still divided up into thirds. So that should be the same. And you know, when you change an improper fraction into a mixed number, that is also going to have the same denominator. Here is another example. We've got 4 2/5. All right, multiply your denominator by your whole number. 2 times 4 is 20, plus 2. 20 plus 2 is 22/5. And there's our improper fraction. One more example. The longest chess tournament ever lasted 20 1/4 hours. Whew, almost an entire day. What is this time written as an improper fraction? Well, 20 1/4, that's the mixed number. So we'll say the denominator times the whole number. 4 times 20 is 80. 80 plus 1 is 81 over 4. This would be 81 fourths. And this, even though they look different, they name the same amount. They do. They name the same amount. Now, how to change an improper fraction into a mixed number. This is the opposite. Here's an improper fraction, 15 halves. And if you look here, you can see 15 halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 halves. Only one part is not colored in. 15 halves. So you could say, well, this is a whole number. This is a whole number. Excuse me. This is a whole number. This one, this one, this one, this one. How many whole parts do we, whole representations do we see? We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. So I could say that 15 halves is another way of saying 7 and a half. Is there a shortcut for that? Yes, there is. The shortcut for this type of conversion is division. It's to divide. 15 halves from our other problem, you would write it like this. Divide your numerator by your denominator. 15 divided by 2. We've talked about how this symbol here, the line that goes between the numerator and the denominator, can also indicate that you're dividing. You can write it like this. How many times could 2 be divided into 15? 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract 1. Now we don't write this as big capital R remainder 1, and we don't make it into a decimal because frankly we're not studying decimals, we're studying fractions. So we'll make it into a fraction, and here's how we do it. 1 out of 2. So we would say 7 and 1 out of 2. And we would say that as 7 and a half. Alright? 1 out of 2. We don't put decimal points, we don't add zeros. Here's another example. Alright? 5/3, we are going to take our numerator and divide it by our denominator. Alright, how many times could 3 be divided into 5? Well, once. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract 2. Nothing left to bring down, so we're going to make this into a fraction. And this would be 1 and 2/3. 1 and 2/3. Do you remember earlier I said that your denominator, your bottom number is going to be the same? See how there's a 2 on the bottom here? There's a 2 on the bottom here. They're going to share the same denominator. See how there's a 3 on the bottom here? There's a 3 on the bottom here. If you accidentally put 3 halves, you know that's not right because you can't have a 2 on the bottom if it has a 3 here. They must match. They must match. All right, that's something to remember. If you're not sure about that, replay it till until you understand it. One more example. A delivery truck travels 36 miles in 7 hours. 36 miles in 7 hours. Write the number of miles driven as a mixed number. All right, we'll take 36 divided by 7. Let's see, how many times could 36 be divided by 7? Well, I know 5 times 7 is 35. Yep, that'll work. 1 left over, there's nothing left to bring down. We'll make this into a fraction, and our answer would be 5 and 1/7. We would write this as 5 and 1/7. If you wanted to check it, you could. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 1 is 36/7. Notice they both have a 7 on the bottom. They both have a 7 as a denominator. Practice problems for tonight. There are 4. There's 2 when I move this. You don't have to write the whole problem. You may write what the number sentence would be, the fraction or the mixed number would be, and then convert it. show your work, show how you changed it. Here's letter A and B. And of course you can put this on pause so you can write it down. And here's letter C and D. You can pause this to write it down. And good luck tonight. Please let me know if you have any questions.